have the questions, we have the answers. Welcome to AOSD-The Assembly of Sound Doctrine Chandler. This is a YouTube channel dedicated to learning the ancient Hebraic mindset. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Make sure you comment, like, share, and hit the bell. Y'all have a blessed evening. Stay in shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Elvin Israel from the Assembly of Sound Doctrine Chandler, AOSD-CHANDLER, and one of the lead instructors of RPK, Resurrection, Prophecy, and Kingdom. Tonight, this evening, we're going to unearth another mystery dealing with the man of sin, the mystery of iniquity, the man of lawlessness. And if it's only one man, or if it's a plethora of people. Walk with me as we go down this rabbit hole. When we get to the end, we'll understand more about what Paul is explaining. We're going to start off in 2 Thessalonians 2, 1 through 5. It states, "Now concerning the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and our being gathered together to him, we ask, brothers, not to be quickly shaken in mind or alarmed, either by spirit or by spoken word or a letter seeming to come from us, to the effect that the day of the Lord has come. Let no one deceive you in any way." So we can see the deception was about people forging letters and misquoting the apostles about the day of the Lord arriving. "Let no one deceive you in any way, for that day will not come unless the rebellion comes first, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of destruction, who opposes and exalts himself against every so-called God or object of worship, so that he takes his seat in the temple of God, proclaiming himself to be God. Do you not remember that when I was still with you, I told you these things?" So Paul, it sounds like Paul is addressing a singular person, right? That he exalts himself. He takes his seat in the temple of God, proclaiming himself to be God. See, all of this singular language is talking about one person, correct? But in verse 5, he says, "Do you not remember that when I was still with you, I told you these things?" So let's find out what Paul told those in Thessalonica, what information he gave them when he was with them. 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 8 and 9. "So being affectionately desirous of you, we were ready to share with you not only the gospel of God, but also ourselves, because you have become very dear to us. For you remember, brothers, our labor and toil. We work night and day, that we might not be a burden to any of you, while we proclaim to you the gospel of God." So these individuals in Thessalonica, they receive the gospel of God. So Paul said, "Do you not remember these things I told you when I was yet with you?" And we find out that it's indeed a letter that was sent out to those in Thessalonica, speaking to them how he has proclaimed the gospel of God to them. So let's go back to the gospel of the Lord. Matthew 24:14 gives us a hint. "And this gospel of the kingdom will be proclaimed throughout the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come." So the Messiah said the gospel of the kingdom would be proclaimed throughout the whole world as a testimony to all nations. That would include those in Thessalonica, who Paul stated received the gospel of God. Now, unless you think it's a different gospel they received, I would say this is the same gospel they received right here that was supposed to be a testimony to nations for the end to be able to arrive. So let's look at some of the gospel that the Messiah spoke about. Verse 4, and Jesus answered them, see that no one leads you astray. For many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and they will lead many astray. So that's a plural, not one person, but many. Verse 11, and many false prophets will arise and lead many astray. So that's the second time the Messiah said it was many. Verse 24, for false Christ and false prophets will arise and perform great signs and wonders, so as to lead astray, if possible, even the elect. So the Messiah said for the third time, a plurality of people, false Christs and false prophets, was going to perform these great signs and wonders and lead many astray. So once we go to 2 Thessalonians 2, we find out that this wickedness, what is he going to do? In verse 9, the coming of the lawless one is by the activity of Satan with all power and false signs and wonders. The same thing Christ said the false prophets and the false Christ were going to do. So John speaks about these same individual. First John 2, 18 through 19. Children, it is the last hour. And as you have heard, that Antichrist is coming, singular. Paul talked about a singular individual. Now, many Antichrists, plural, what the Messiah spoke about, the actuality, plural. There are many Antichrists have come. Therefore, we know that it is the last hour. They, plural, went out from us, but they, plural, were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would have continued with us. But they went out that it might become plain that they all are not of us. So that was the evidence on who the Antichrist was. 1 John 4, 1 through 3. Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For many false prophets have gone out into the world. By this you know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God. And every spirit that does not confess Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you heard was coming and now is in the world already. So it says every spirit that does not confess Jesus is not from God. Every spirit that would be Antichrist. So we see it's a plurality. They are from the world, therefore they speak from the world, and the world listens to them. That's a plurality. So let's see what the lexicon has to say about this Antichrist person, right? So this is right here in 500, Antichrist. The usage, the term antichristos refers to an adversary of Christ, one who opposes or seeks to replace Christ. In the New Testament, it is used to describe both a spirit of opposition to Christ and specific individuals, plural, who embody this opposition. The term is often associated with false teachers, plural, and deceivers, plural, who deny the true nature of Jesus Christ. Look at the cultural and historical background. The concept of the Antichrist has its roots in early Christian eschatology and is linked to the expectation of a future figure, singular, who will embody evil and oppose Christ before the end times. That's the eschatology behind it. In the first century, the early church faced numerous heresies and false teachings, plural, prompting the apostles to warn believers about those, plural, who would lead them astray. The term Antichristos captures the essence of these warnings, emphasizing vigilance against spiritual deception. So even here, the lexicon is explaining that it was, even though it was written like a singularity, in actuality, it was a plurality, a body of people, a corporate body. Thank you for listening in, and make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Thank you for clicking on the video AOSD-The. This is one of your favorite biblical instructors from RPK, that's Resurrection, Prophecy, and Kingdom. You know, one of your favorite biblical groups out there that's teaching the Bible from the ancient Hebraic mindset. Please also check out the other motion that we have going on. Go to Amazon, check out Instructor Joe Wad's book, Give Credit When Credit is Due, Credit Building for Kids. Also go to Instagram, where we have Instructor Michael Israel providing a product for a healthier lifestyle. Go to Alkaline Is Life Shop on Instagram. And if you have not, make sure you cop the book, The Circumcision and Uncircumcision of Genesis chapter 1, Mystery of the Gardens Revealed.
Thank you for clicking on the channel.
AOSD,
Assembly of Sound Doctrine channel.
Assembly of Sound Doctrine.
AOSD, RPK, Resurrection, Prophecy, Kingdom. Like, subscribe, share. Let's go.
Come get a lesson. I'm teaching blessings. No need for guessing. I'm knowledge testing. It's truth time. The wise will shine, and the wicked will pine. I'm a righteous kind. Straight out of trouble, I'm keeping it subtle. Just me and my brothers and sisters. They love us, we fixing the puzzle, no stressing. I come to the buck of the struggle with aunties and cuz. Wanna read it, believe it. They should be back, see it and need it. Like a kid back, breaches and pieces. Like a Kit Kat, Akis and I get seated. It's a Hollywood, not Dollywood. Alpha love, the kingdom within. AOSD is finessing. RPK, let your journey begin. It's a Hollywood, not Dollywood. Alpha love, the kingdom within. AOSD is finessing. RPK, let your journey begin. AOSD, 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 Assembly of Sound Doctrine.